So, October 12th, you gonna be there?
I will be there until I can't walk anymore every year.
Lionel, amazing race. So good to have you back. We'll see you in Kona, baby. Lionel Sanders!
Did you accomplish what you came to accomplish?
I accomplished everything and more that I came to accomplish. I had a good swim. I had a very good bike. I was very happy with the bike. Love that bike. I didn't fade much on the bike, which I was impressed with. And then I had, all things considered, I mean, I ran a good 20K. And I knew pretty quickly, I knew at about 17K though that I would not be winning. And so that's fine, you know what I mean? I certainly came here to compete, absolutely. And I think I did compete. I think I did contribute to the race and contribute to the dynamics. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the second place. I'm happy with the Kona slot. I think the big win for me on the run was my run form, and perhaps you can dub some run footage here, because I mean it's by far the best I've looked on a run. Certainly not from 32 to 42 kilometers. That was bad. It was mainly walking, but I wasn't limping nearly as much as I normally do. And for the first 20-ish kilometers, I wasn't really limping at all. So most definitely improvement in that department. So that is a win for me. And it was a privilege to take part in this race and to see Cody Beal's amazing performance. That truly is probably one of the best Ironman performances of all time. If you've been to this course and you've raced here, you'll appreciate how ridiculous that performance was. And so hats off to him for a quick recovery and then repeat that in Kona. So this has been a fantastic experience. I can't ask any more of myself. I was diagnosed with the injury something like April 16th. It's August 18th, so like 4 months and 4 days later. You know, the doctor said, I said, well, how long are we looking at, doc? And he said, probably 12 weeks. And so to hear that, and then I think to come here and on this course go 8:05, I couldn't ask any more for myself. So 100% happy with it in every regard.
You talked yesterday about in your interview that if you were up in the race and you were up for contention, then you wanted to attempt to race the race. And you were up there and you had a 5-minute lead. Why did you let them overtake you? Why did you get beat?
Let them. I didn't have any say in the matter. I'd have loved to win, but Cody Beals had a different plan for that. So, I mean, initially my race plan was to catch Cody, because that's who I figured we'd be racing, and to let him dictate the entire race. I was going to sit on his wheel. And then I said, hang on a second here. The run is a big question mark. And so on the bike, on the other hand, I don't think you're going to do much damage doing a hard Ironman bike. I mean, of course, you're going to need to recover, et cetera, but the run is where I would do a lot of damage. You know, if him and I went toe-to-toe and, you know, I went, let's say, tried to run with him for a long time, there would be a lot of damage done there, absolutely. So in my mind, it was like, okay, let's bike pretty hard and try and get as much of a gap as we can, and then see how this thing pans out. And Cody rode with me for about, I want to say 150 kilometers. And then, and he told me this, that he decided this is probably going to negatively impact my run, so I'm going to ease off, which is, you know, took a lot of patience and wisdom to do that, because I know how difficult that can be. And I, on the other hand, biked, you know, quite hard. And so, of course, that I biked with like my old mentality, my old view of myself and my old fitness, but I don't have that fitness right now. So obviously that's gonna have a big impact on the second half of the run in particular. I didn't go with Cody because my legs would not go with Cody, impossible. That's why. So at 32 kilometers, I was starting to walk. And, well, like I said, at 17 kilometers, I knew it was over. When I got the split at 21 or whatever, what the deficit was at that point, maybe 22 or so, not even 22. When I got the split, Cody had pulled back like a minute 20 on me since the 10.5 kilometer turnaround. And I knew that I was not going to have the legs to hold him off. So the whole time I just said, patience, patience, patience. Just, I knew that I had a nice lead on third place. And so that's what I did. And there's nothing more to say. Cody had a phenomenal race. Even on my best day, I'm not sure that I could run with him at that pace. It's a phenomenal run on this run course. It's a hard run course off of a very hard bike. It's just a phenomenal all-around performance.
In any way, did you let off the gas to save yourself from Kona? Or I guess more so, can you ask the question, would it have been more beneficial for you to dig deep?
Oh, I could have dug myself a grave. Absolutely, I could have dug myself a grave, but I was still losing by 5 instead of 7 minutes. So, you know what I mean? What's the point in that? I knew I was losing. I knew I was getting second. So, could I have dug myself a grave? Absolutely, but why would I dig myself a grave?
What's one takeaway from today that you think you learned that will help you in Kona?
I think I was a bit dehydrated. I learned that in drug testing afterwards. My specific gravity was like 0.26, and I first round peed 80 milliliters after having been there for an hour chugging stuff. So I was quite dehydrated. So I probably didn't it didn't seem like I was sweating that much. I probably didn't respect that as much as I should have. I mean, the biking's moving in the right direction. I certainly overbiked, but I did that consciously. I mean, I've pushed, my best power is 318. I think I pushed 305 today. So I've pushed more power. But you know what I mean? I was biking with the memory of some of the bikes I've done, but I'm not in that kind of fitness right now, so that certainly is going to have an impact. If you're biking over your head, it's going to have an impact on your run. So anyways, long story short, everything's moving in the right direction. I did run I think I went through the half in 120 or something like that, which up until 10 miles, it was feeling good, you know what I mean? Like my old self. But, 6 weeks of run training's certainly not going to be adequate, I don't think, to run your absolute best performance. So, and then I think the big one for me, which I've been wanting to do for so long but never actually committed to doing it, was improving my running technique. And in reviewing the videos, my hip drop is not too bad. There's very little limp, nice and upright posture, which I should be sitting with good posture right now. The run was a win. It's certainly not my best run performance, but the run was a win in every way. Like, to see that's gonna, like I said in I think the previous video, this is just the beginning. These are lessons that I learned that are gonna pay dividends, I think, for the next, I hope, 8 to 10 years.
At the end of the day, you wanted to come here, and I'm sure in your mind, deep down, you wanted to win and you wanted to beat Cody.
I'm a racer, of course.
When did you accept that, or did you accept that before you started the race?
At 17, I was on the fence. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to happen. And at 21, it was over. 100% over. It was already made up in my mind. You're going to finish second, damage control, how far's third, all that stuff. And I'm not ashamed of that. I came here with a goal. One of the things I think I have to start to become better at is sort of checking my ego. And I think probably one of the problems in my past career, we'll call it, is, you know, if I enter a race, I want to win every single race, and I want to be in peak form in every single race. And that's a recipe for injury and for overtraining and for not doing well in the race you really want to win. Because to be in peak form, you know, I usually would get to Oceanside in peak form, and then I would be in St. George in peak form, and then I would be in Trombone 70.3 in peak form. It's just not sustainable, and it's not good for you, I don't think, to be constantly trying to, now you're just hanging on for dear life.
Are you building excuses for yourself, or is this reality?
Excuses for myself, what does that mean?
Like, are you building excuses because you got second in your head, or are you actually believe that with a solid 10 months of training, you would have had a peak performance today?
I can tell you that 6 weeks of quality training is probably not enough to do a peak Ironman for anyone. So I'm not going to sit here and say I could win this race, because that I have no idea, and it doesn't matter what your opinion is in that regard. The fact of the matter is Cody had a world-class performance, one of the best probably ever, and I was 7 minutes back. That's the reality. I knew it was a long shot to compete with him. I know that he came here as the A race. I know he's had a tough season, and so I knew that was a big long shot to be able to go, and that's why I had to make the adjustment on the bike, was that I knew it would be a long shot, so I better take what's mine on the bike, because at least I can get a bit of a gap and maybe hang on. And that was not the case. That brought me to tears. I mean, the support of everyone out there, and the belief in me that I could do it, and their you know, unwavering support and belief was amazing. And I'm so thankful for that, and I'm so grateful for that, and I'm so grateful to be back and healthy, and you know, back on the path to pursuing my goals, my dreams, and to have a return to triathlon. I couldn't think of a better race that more meaningful for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm deeply thankful. Dominic's been fantastic. Mark Roy's been fantastic. The race organizers here every year, just such great people, such a great town, embraces the race. The volunteers are fantastic. The crowd support's fantastic. The people who come here to do this race are fantastic. I have nothing bad to say about this race. I love this race, and I will keep coming back here, the 70.3 or the Ironman, I hope, till the end of my career. So yeah, and then of course, you know, this, let's call this, I guess, the culmination of the injury series. Though I feel like we already called something that, but you know, the support has been fantastic from everyone, and it really helped. It really helped to know people, you know, believed and didn't say, well, that's the end of you. So thank you to everyone. I appreciate it very much, and I'm just excited to be back racing and have the soreness in my legs. It's just a wonderful thing.
I don't know why, it's pretty emotional. It's, you know, adversity introduces one to themselves. You found out who you were this last year. You found out who you were today. I think you're happy with it.
I absolutely love this sport, and I thank everyone so much for the beautiful welcome. And I just am so grateful to be back here racing, and huge congrats to Cody. What a fantastic race, fantastically executed. Beautiful performance. I watched it firsthand. I watched him fly by me at 32 pace. Wish me good luck in trying to continue to get the Kona slot. And I think Canadian triathlon is in a good place right now.
There's no doubt about that. And, oh yeah, they got to give each other a hug.
Hey, what a courageous race, man. What a comeback. I'm so proud of you.
Fucking awesome.
So proud of you.
Fucking machine.
They told each other how proud they were of each other as true competitor warriors. Well, tomorrow at the award ceremony, I'll officially do the ask that you have to officially tell me whether or not you'd like to go to Kona. But unofficially, I can ask you today, and they can't do anything about it. So, October 12th, you gonna be there?
I will be there until I can't walk anymore every year.
Lionel, amazing race. So good to have you back. We'll see you in Kona, baby. Lionel Sanders!
Wow! Lionel Sanders qui
Excellent
a
race.
répondu aux questions de Mike et lorsqu'il lui a demandé
tore my legs off on the bike. I've never suffered on 2.C like that.
For you to come back on that fantastic run, it's just absolute hard work, amazing run.
I'm so impressed how well you held it together off so little run training. That bodes well, man. Low volume looks good on you, I think.
Lionel Sanders, congratulations.
Very impressive.